Welcome to Political Perspectives with the Washington Examiner. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, please remember to click like and subscribe. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined this week by our chief political correspondent, Byron York. Byron, we're going to take a look at a clip of President Trump and Elon Musk, his Doge advisor, in the Oval Office together. I'd like to get your thoughts on their unique relationship.
So at a high level, if you say, what is the goal of Doge, and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy.
Well, I thought the meeting in the Oval Office, which is pretty darned unusual, I can't remember anything quite like that happening before. I thought it was kind of an attempt to regularize and maybe systematize the workings of Doge and give Americans, some more confidence that perhaps this is being done in a thorough and meticulous way, as opposed to the accusations of a bull in a china shop that we've seen. And as a matter of fact, so you had a couple of things. You had Musk in broad terms describing what he's doing and why he's doing it, and Trump actually signed a executive order around that meeting, which would formalize the relationship between Doge and the federal agencies that it was looking into, and instructing them both to, be in contact with each other. Again, kind of regularizing the whole concept. I think the one thing that Musk did not do very well was to give us much detail about what's happened. I mean, it's been 3 weeks now, and we get all sorts of reports about Doge is looking into this or looking into that. They have found this insane expenditure and that insane expenditure, and there's been no systematic revelation of what they've done, even for one agency, gone through. And we've had things like, the LGBTQ comic book in Peru, which, by the way, Congress had found also. And we've had reports of that kind of stuff, but we've had no systematic way of presenting this to the American people. And if the Oval Office appearance was the start of that, I think it'd be a really good thing.
So Musk, in certain respects, has replaced even President Trump as sort of the Democrats' main target. They're really going after him pretty hard now.
Well, they are, and it was interesting. I think Democrats, as well as everybody else, were kind of shocked by the first several days of the Trump administration, where Trump really had his ducks in a row, and he's doing boom, 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 all of these things. And they're really, I think, quite surprised at how much Trump is getting done. Every president promises to do this or that on his first day or his first week or whatever. And Trump did more than any other president had before. So I think Democrats were back on their heels about how to respond to this. And when you started getting some negative reports out of USAID and a few other federal agencies, you started getting federal employees unions taking a look at this. Democrats decided to go to court because Lawfare has worked so well for them in the past.
Right.
Decided to go to court, and they've really kind of gotten back on their feet, and they found something to do. And the villain, until further notice, is Elon Musk.
One of the things that's been remarkable to me is the fact that Trump has seemed pretty comfortable sharing the spotlight with Musk. That's not something that in the first term, and really even before he entered national politics, it was generally considered a fact that he wanted to be the sole star of the show. But even in that scene in the Oval Office, Trump let Musk take questions and really speak to the reporters much more than he did himself.
That's really interesting. And by the way, Trump is a lot better at it than Musk is. Musk is not that great a extemporaneous speaker for all of his other qualities. But I think you raise a really great point, which is because it has been a truism about Donald Trump. You're right, going back through his career, but certainly since his entrance into politics, is that he's the star of the show, and nobody else is the star of the show. And you're right. He has given Musk a really big platform. There have been a lot of predictions that the two of them would split up in some acrimonious egomaniac split. And it has not happened. Maybe it will, but it hasn't happened yet. And you're right. JD Vance, the vice president, has gotten a lot of attention, a lot of very positive attention in the conservative world, and Trump doesn't seem to be upset with that. I'll note one thing in the Super Bowl interview that Trump did with Fox News, Brett Baer. Um, he was asked, "Is JD Vance your successor?" And Trump said no.
Pretty
He said it
quickly.
rather quickly and
Yeah.
emphatically.
Do you view Vice President JD Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable.
And he said, "Well, we're just getting started. It's just been 3 weeks. Come on." And then Brett Baer, I think, quite reasonably pointed out, say, "Well, by the midterms, JD Vance is going to want an endorsement from you," and Trump still put it off.
But by the time you get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an endorsement.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the
It's
presidency.
definitely been the fastest and the most stuff
Well,
happening.
we've done so much so fast, and we really had to.
So I think that Trump is sharing the spotlight more, but he is not looking for a successor right now. He is really at the top of his game. He is the entire reason all of this is happening. It's all happening because of one person. He knows that, and I don't think he's ready to even take a breather anytime soon.
So you mentioned the resumption of lawfare against President Trump.
Yeah.
Watch a clip about how the media and some Democratic voices are starting to resume the constitutional crisis messaging.
There are warnings that the U.S. is dangerously close to a constitutional crisis. Now, the first shoe on this dropped when a federal judge today said the White House is defying his order to unfreeze billions of dollars in federal aid. And in a separate case today, federal employees here in Washington told a judge that the administration was defying another order by not reinstating workers who had been put on leave.
I think a number of commentators have pointed out that this is an echo, maybe it's kind of a faint echo of the Russia hysteria that you saw in early 2017 when Trump took office. Not nearly as intense and wide-reaching, but they do seem to be looking to kind of go back to the well of investigations and lawsuits against President Trump. Now, you could say that what a lot of us refer to as lawfare, just meaning the final attacks on Trump at the end of his first term and while he was out of office, meaning the 4 indictments against him, the 2 by the Biden Justice Department, the 1 by the district attorney in Manhattan, and the other by the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia. Those were the lawfare things. Well, those were clearly intended to prevent Trump from becoming president again. Then there was, I guess you could call the 14th Amendment case lawfare as well, again, intended to keep him from being president again. And none of that worked. And you would think Democrats might say, well, it didn't work before, but they're going back to it now.
Thank you, Byron.
Thank you, Jim.
And thank you for joining Political Perspectives. Hugo Gurdon will be back next week. Please remember to click like or subscribe down below.